Blog Talk Radio.
Platform trash. Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What up, though, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm in the building with my family. We got B. Austin and Jimmy the Blueprint with us. Like, this has been a week of hot topics in sports that kind of emphasizes the terrible side of people. Don't get us wrong. We're going to throw in some feel-good stories as well, but this week was overwhelmingly negative, and most of it occurred off the field. So, so look, we got to discuss it. Got to do what we do. So keep it locked right here for this and everything else happening in the world of sports. And if you want to get in on the conversation, make sure you join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 15 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number, as usual, is 323-410-0012. One last thing before we get everything popping. Make sure that during the week when you're chilling, you're in your office, you're in the car, wherever whatever you're doing for the week while you're on that grind, make sure you listen to archive episodes of our show at warroomsports.com. You can also do it on the War Room Sports mobile app that you all should have because it's free on Android and iOS, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcast. We're on there somewhere. What up, homies? Quick question for y'all.
Yo, what up,
dog? Went wrong with the karmic balance of this past week?
Every now and again, once in a while, Lucifer makes his way up from the 9th level of hell to set foot on to set foot on the earth. And something crazy happens, like Kanye West will drop an album or theme music for that arrival. So, that's what it is. He's here.
Man.
He's rocking, and it's manifesting itself.
It wasn't just a murder capital where they murder for capital. Like, all kinds of stuff happened. Like, I don't even want to start the list because, we're going to talk about it all, but he just had a little bit of everything, man. Fighting, stealing, murking, beating.
Suicide.
It's been a crazy week. A lot of deaths, particularly in the NBA. It's crazy. So look, man, we're gonna jump right into it because I just can't believe we went through the entirety of 2016. That was like the death year, where every show, like 3 people died in the world of sports or entertainment. And this year hasn't particularly been the year of terrible people, but this week it's overwhelming, man. I can't state it enough. But
so we went back in time to 2016 just for this week.
Well, a few of those type of stories, but it extended beyond that. But this is what we're gonna do while y'all were on the grind. Is brought to you, of course, by Sports the Book. You guys tired of reading the same old sports books with the same lame lists, rankings, imaginary starting lineups, and all sorts of subjective information that they try to pass off to you as facts? Be sure to pick up your copy of Sports, SPORTS. Smart people only read the sports. It's a mixture of sports, hip-hop culture, and comedy will keep you on your edge of your seat. You'll love it. If you haven't read it by now, then first of all, there's something wrong with you because, we told you to read it a long time ago, and that's for you. It's for the culture. So just go to sportsthebook.com or get your copy from our website at warroomsports.com, but just don't miss the movement. All right. So let's jump right on into some of these crazy stories, man. And the first one, this is a current New York Giant player. He had some problems with TSA on a recent flight. Now, you know, if you guys travel enough, B and Blueprint. I mean, y'all know TSA is not the most smoothly run operation this world has ever seen. If you check your bag,
especially if you're Muslim,
sometimes you're gonna. Yeah, I know, right? Shout out to Doc Bay, because he's not even Muslim, but since his name is the Honorable Achel Fami Bayon, he gets the quote unquote random search every time he goes into an airport. Like, come on, it can't be that many random searches in the world. You know, I've had my bags checked. I've had them lost. I had TSA go through the bags for some particular reason and not leave the stuff like they found it. I had my bags damaged because of that. Zipper's broken. What did you say, B?
Some airports are worse than others, yo. Some airports are worse than others, like the Houston, yo. I screamed me too when I left their airport, yo.
No, but man, this is the thing though, because after 9/11, you know, TSA became a serious, you know, government agency. Not to say that it wasn't supposed to be before, but I knew some people who worked at TSA before, and there's no way that they should have been doing airport security, and they'll tell you that themselves. So they got a little more serious after 9/11. So in this particular story, A.J. Francis, who's now a defensive tackle with the New York Giants, he was rolling through, and he got his bag after his flight. TSA had been inside it. You know, they usually leave you to note that they had to check the bag. But in this particular instance, he was carrying an urn with his mother's ashes in it. So they did something. They checked it. They spilled the ashes onto his luggage on the inside, onto his clothes, and then just put everything back.
Oh!
Didn't put a note, you know, like nothing happened.
Oh!
Yeah.
Somebody ought to get a rope.
Well, listen, this is what he tweets, because you know you can get at anybody these days because everybody's on social media. He said, "Hey, you pieces of ish at TSA, next time you effing feel the need to go through my mother's ashes for no reason, make sure you close it back so her remains aren't spilled all on my clothes. The least you pieces of garbage can do is your effing job." Yo, and they sent him like some canned response, basically saying, "Out of respect for the deceased, under no circumstances should the container be opened." That was the reply. Okay, he already established that part by telling you pieces of ish that you shouldn't have done that. Yo, how heated would y'all be if y'all were in this young man's situation, man?
I'll be in the airport like Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah, I'm not built. Certain things I'm not built for, and I'll just say what he said. Yeah, what he said.
You be up in the joint like Pac-Man. Well, look, man, that's a great segue up because Pac-Man Jones was in the airport, Hartsfield to be exact, in Atlanta.
Yeah, right.
And there's a video that was released showing Adam Pac-Man Jones, the man with 90 million lives in the NFL, having a fist fight with an airport employee. Now, where the video picks up, Pac-Man has a case for his defense, because where the video picks up, it looks like the airport employee, who was, you know, probably a good 6 inches taller than Pac-Man, he looked to be the aggressor. Pac-Man looked like he wanted to keep walking. The dude got off of the people who was trying to hold him back, pushes Pac-Man or punches him up against a little window or something, and then it was on from there. Next thing you know, this dude is on the ground trying to wake up. B, I know we've talked recently about Pac-Man and how many times he's gotten off as far as his punishments go outside and inside of the NFL. Did you see the video?
Yo, I did not see the video, and I want to preface this by saying that all of us on this show are definitely pro-black. We all grew up in urban environments, so we know that there's definitely a racial bias to law enforcement, to the judicial system.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Damn, maybe they didn't like what he was saying. It's like boys got him.
He was about to say something negative.
He didn't do nothing to nobody, but them boys got him, yo.
TSA.
Yo, for me, right, it's just like, dude definitely was the aggressor. And I was getting upset watching it because the chick was trying to hold him back, but she was almost like allowing him to get his boot stretched because of her trying to hold him back.
Right.
Yeah, because because he was trying to hold him back, I was like, yo, you going to hold his arm and the bull going to get him. But dude was definitely the aggressor. He was trying to get by. But this made me think about something else. So shout out to our brother Hank, because he said something in our group chat about like Pac-Man has had so many chances that he must be like the greatest athlete of our generation. And I'm like thinking, I know Pac-Man is pretty good, but how good is he that he's gotten this many chances? Or is it just like because when it happened? Because I think that in 2018, like with some of his stuff, not saying anything is his fault, but like with some of his, I don't know whether he'd be able to get away with it the same way.
Right. Or even this one. If there was no video involved in this, and you had to give Pac-Man Jones the benefit of the doubt, he'd be getting roofed right now. He most likely will be getting roofed right now. But no, watching the video, just like, we both agreed on, dude was definitely an aggressor. And I like the point that you brought up, because the woman he was with, I don't know if that was a friend, a sister, a girlfriend, or whoever, jump off, whatever. Her intentions were good, but she was going about it the wrong way, because you can tell the way she was, no, Adam. It was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, you're on thin ice, as is. Like, I can't let you get in trouble again type thing. But you also can't hold him, and keep holding his arm in his hand while this dude is being wild aggressive and running up on him and stuff. Because, okay, he might not end up getting in trouble like you, but you have to allow him to at least protect and defend himself, or he's going to be on the ground waking up for no particular reason, just because you wouldn't allow him to defend himself. So I heard that, after he put this dude in the hospital with that crazy that falling left hook, short left hook that he hit him with, that looked to, put him in La La Land. Did you see the photo of dude in the hospital? But it was kind of a mugshot. I think the police went to the hospital to book the dude. So he had a very bad day. Like, you most likely lost your job. Because once they see the footage, they're going to see how aggressive you were being. Everybody trying to hold him back. Then you get stretched. Then you go to the hospital. And then the police come and actually put you in favor of Pac-Man Jones. Yeah.
His day was definitely trash. I want to know, like, what led up to that. I mean, have you heard the whole story? Like, have you heard anything else in terms of what led up to that?
I haven't heard how it started or anything like that, but, where it picks up, they just look like they were having words, but to everybody's surprise, Pac-Man Jones looked like, even though he said something back, he was still being the bigger man. He was just going to walk down the hallway and do what he had to do, catch his flight or wherever he was going. And the dude just wouldn't let it go. And, he kind of paid the price for it. I don't know if he knew who Pac-Man Jones was or not.
I don't think he did.
Yeah. I mean, not that would have like it probably would have gave him more heart, because he was looking for a payday. But you can't look for a payday. Like, if you know who he is and you're looking for a payday, you have to talk him into swinging on you. You can't attack him first. You know what I'm saying? You have to goad him into it somehow and be a little more clever. You can't just punch the dude up against the wall and think that you're going to get something after that.
Bull was definitely trash. Yeah, his whole life trash right now.
Yeah, he must have been angry. Yeah, he must have been angry because he take out trash after the plane lands. I don't know. Something was wrong with him. He was real aggressive. Wild aggressive. All right, so we got to move on to the next thing. I was trying to stall a little bit to see, I was curious to see what B. Austin was about to say. But
they got him.
I think the feds got him. Either the feds, TSA, Pac-Man's people, because he was most definitely about to say something crazy about Pac-Man. Just knowing him. All right, so speaking of rumbling, your favorite rumblers of all time, Kermit Washington of almost killing Rudy Tomjanovich fame. Wait a minute, we'll get right back to Kermit Washington because B's back. B, real quick, because we moved on to the next story. Let us know what you were about to say about Pac-Man before we move on. All right. I guess you still don't know.
Got him again.
All right. So Kermit Washington of almost killing Rudy Tomjanovich fame, he has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for charity fraud. Now,
yo, that's like the worst kind of fraud, ain't it?
Right. And he was also ordered to pay $970,000 in restitution. So he's 66 years old.
I don't even know what that means. It just sounds like it's the worst.
What, charity fraud?
Yeah, it just sounds like bad. Like, yo, charity? You frauding charity?
Remember, the theme of today's show is just terrible people. And people just doing terrible things this week. So what he did, they said he abused his fame and status to promote a charity scam by which he raised hundreds of thousands of dollars that he diverted to personal spending on lavish vacations, shopping sprees, and even plastic surgery for his girlfriend. She's probably a yacht. So in November 2017, he pleaded guilty in a federal court in Kansas City, Missouri, to making a false statement on his tax return and to aggravated identity theft. So, man, to me, this looked like one of those cases, these old players looking at what these new players are making and how they get the floss in ways that they could never imagine. And he wanted a piece of the pie. But charity fraud, now it doesn't specify exactly what the charity was. But, dude, anything that's an empathetic enough cause for people to give their money.
Yo, it's charitable.
Right.
If it's charitable,
to give your hard-earned personal money because you feel that strongly or feel that sorry for a particular situation, to take advantage of that is just scumbucket type material. So he's about to spend 6 in the pen because he wanted to come up off of people and their feelings, their empathetic feelings for something. What's up with your man? I mean, back then he was making people's spinal fluid leak off one punch.
Yo, I just don't. What, man? Like, no, I don't know, man. Like, I understand. I guess it's different. Like, I'm trying to figure out mentally what makes you do something like this. Like, do you think you're gonna play with it?
It gets worse, Jim. I found out what it was.
Oh, shite.
He told the donors that the funds were going toward charitable work in Africa for starving and HIV-positive children.
Oh, come on. The babies, too?
Man, though, most of the people we bring up in today's episode could deserve this. And again, shout out to the homie Court Bennett for bringing this back. Kermit Washington. Man. Sing to him, JoJo. Really?
Damn.
You gonna go there with the African kids with HIV?
Yo, cuz I don't know his. I don't know his situation, like his personal financial situation, Doug. But come on, man. Yeah,
he
definitely.
He basically went "We Are the World" on him, yo.
Yo.
Starving kids in Africa with HIV. He went "We Are the World" on them, man, and didn't even have Michael singing the man. He a piece of trash.
Yo,
all right, man.
Speaking of that, though, wasn't it fire in "We Are the World"? It's like the song was fire. Like everybody was anticipating Mike, and then Mike got on and just drew.
Yo, first of all, why was he dressed like that? Everybody else just had on jeans and a t-shirt. Mike got on the junk.
Everybody that killed John.
Because a lot of that, they got that together after an award show or something. That's how they had all of those people in the same place at the same time. So they all had to wake up early, go to the studio to knock that out. So Mike probably was there all night, with his makeup crew and his stylist and all of that. Everybody come in looking half asleep with a T-shirt on, hair not done, and Mike glittered on him. Come on, Mike.
Yeah, what's wrong with Mike, man?
All right, so in addition to Kermit Washington being a POS, there was a lot of death this week as well. And as I mentioned earlier, it was death in the NBA. Clifford Rozier, former NBA player, died at the age 45 of a heart attack. Tyler Honeycutt was found dead after a standoff with police. And then former UCLA Bruin Billy Knight was found dead in what many people think is a suicide after recording his final message and putting it on YouTube, talking about how he sinned and he's lived a life of lies and this and that. Jim, I don't even know, because when we originally talked about it, I know for one, I didn't know this particular fact, but I heard that this message came after he had gotten, I'm not even going to say charged. It was alleged that he sexually abused a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah,
so that's kind of how, I guess that was his last straw with himself before suicide. They said he sexually abused a child, so they found him unresponsible before 3 a.m. Sunday morning.
B. Austin is, I'm pretty sure B. Austin is going to say what I'm thinking. So B. Austin, where you at, B?
Coward. There's no condolences sent out. You know what I'm saying? There's no, because that little baby had lived that. If you did it, that little baby has to live with that for the rest of her life, and her parents live with it.
You murked yourself. I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt after leaving that video.
Yeah.
So I mean,
his video said, "I've sinned. I've lived a life of lies. I'm a terrible person. I'm a piece of trash." Yes, you are.
No,
you are not looking for pity, I hope. I have no friends. I've lied to my mom. I've lied to my dad. I've lied to myself. I've lied to God. He was going in on the self-pity, John, and then killed himself. Y'all already know how I feel about suicide, as well documented. I'm not going to go into that because it may be a little to some of our listeners. But if you committed that act against and perpetrated that against a child, and you expect any inkling of whatever over here,
Yeah, it says between April 1st, 2017 and March 31st, 2018, he engaged in multiple acts of sexual intercourse or sexual contact with the underage girl. He was accused of abusing the victim on the couch as the two watched movies and while the child was asleep in her mother's bed. I don't know who this little girl was to him. I don't know if she was the daughter of a girlfriend or something like that. But yeah, he on the video, he said, "I'm sorry, Lord. This is probably my last message on earth. Life is not a game. You can't play around with it." You know, all of these little quotes and catchphrases, and then they found him dead. So you kind of know what happened in this situation.
Did he hit us with a whole bunch of cliches?
No, but not only that, you know what bothers me about that? It's sort of like, you trash, you don't deserve to live, but you still somehow want to play victim and get sympathy. Like if you just
and get some sympathy out of it.
FOH, man. Just body yourself and keep it moving.
Out of here.
But everybody has to put on a show these days, man. Everything has to be on social media. People killing people on social media. People killing themselves on social media. You got to leave your suicide note on social media. Like,
listen,
it's
man,
like your last plea for attention.
That article you sent me yesterday about Kylie, the young queen Kylie, who's almost a billionaire already. She just became legal.
Right.
It's a quote in that article that I put in the group, and it talks about like this is the best time ever in terms of I forgot the phrase they use. It's something like something about leveraging your fame or something like that.
Right.
To the point
leveraging
where
Kim's fame.
Getting attention makes you money. So, insert fab quote here, but it's the truth because it still goes back to people looking for resources. They just figured out. But it's also laziness. Cats don't want to work. They want to like get a viral video.
I wonder. Yo, Jimmy, I wonder how much money his suicide note generated.
We're working hard to improve our customer service. That means 2-hour appointment window, including nights and
weekends. I have no idea what that was. Somebody talking about customer service and murking people or something.
No, that was me. That was me. That was computer. My bad.
Oh yeah, okay. So anyway, but attention is just a beast, man. Like it's its own form of currency, and like you said, people go so
salute
far.
the Fabulous.
Yeah,
salute the Fabulous.
Right,
he said it.
It's crazy because UCLA, they lost two former players this week, and both of them are being investigated as suicide. Remember, I mentioned Tyler Honeycutt. He was in a standoff with police, but his death is being looked at as a potential suicide. They said he shot at officers last Friday before barricading himself in his Sherman Oaks home for 9 hours. Then he was pronounced as dead at the scene after SWAT entered the residence early Saturday morning. So they're claiming that when they bust up in there, he was already dead. So we'll see where that investigation goes.
If you black and you shoot at cops, that is suicide. That's clearly like you're not going to be given the benefit.
What's it called? I think the
death
phrase is literally called suicide. Yeah, death by suicide.
Yeah, suicide. Yeah. Yep.
But my thing is,
but the coroner said he sustained what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So either way, it was going to be suicide. Yeah. So that's two
that
players.
Was just the first cop. The first cop that got to him did something ignorant, so they blamed it on him, shooting himself.
Right. So this particular story, I have no clue what it was about, why there was a standoff, why he was shooting at the police, if he took his own life, like why this whole thing happened. Only thing we can speculate at this point, like we talk about, how serious mental health issues are. This type of stuff happens as a result of that a lot of times, and it goes by without anybody noticing.
It's funny you say that. I heard about this and I didn't see any indication of a mental health issue. However, on Twitter, when a lot of the his NBA fan were like extending their condolences, mental health was mentioned at least 4 or 5 times. So there might be something to that.
Yeah, they know something we don't know. I mean, that's crazy, man. Like, it's popping with UCLA, man. Somebody in our chat was like, somebody got to go check on Kevin Love right now.
Yo. All right, man.
Like, what's popping over there, though?
It's a crazy week, especially for the Bruin fam. And definitely shout out to Clifford Rozier's family. Like I said earlier, the 45-year-old former NBA player, 6'11", center, Clifford Rozier, passed away Friday after a sudden heart attack. That's crazy and it's scary. You know what I'm saying? 45 years old. Like, I get nervous anytime, any kind of pain around the chest or just anything, man. I get nervous as hell. Because people just dropping dead, man, at young ages, man. It's scary.
It's crazy.
You're not supposed to die at 45. You're supposed to be playing in the Big Three. You're supposed to be on the basketball court complaining about your ankles and knees, still shooting long trays.
Right,
yeah,
not having sudden heart attacks.
When you see people dying in their 40s, it makes you question mortality in general, man. Because sometimes some of these cats big shape and everything, man. I don't know what's popping. Not saying he was, but it reminded me of that episode of Blackish when his pop turned I think he turned 65, and he was like, "Yo, I'm the oldest man alive," and he was like, "Think about it." So I started thinking about it, yo,
scary,
black men get out of here.
Don't know a lot of black men.
Statistically speaking, black men be out of here. You know what I'm saying? We get out of here, man. But
and that's why it's so scary,
that's
Jeff.
why.
Go ahead.
Mhm. No,
I was just saying I'm a routine, like I routinely go to the doctor. So it's like you think about it, and you know you don't want to sound crazy about it though, but you're kind of like, man, this was a sudden heart attack. Like for selfish reasons, you like, man, I hope dude like just didn't go to the doctor and didn't know that something was wrong, because I go to the doctor all the time. If I have a sudden heart attack, you know, I mean, I might be dead.
All that doctor going.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
all that doctor going didn't work.
Mad. Like, I go to the doctor all the time, and everything that happened, he knows. So, you know, sudden death is not how you want to. Need to know that something.
Yeah, not at all.
Prepare myself at least, or try to fight it. But this family, man,
I'm one of them ignorant. I'm one of them ignorant, stereotypical black men. So we ain't gonna go into that.
Dog, I go to the doctors. As a matter of fact, I go to the doctors like often. I get routine checkups. I go more than required, just because I'm paranoid. But it's like, it's crazy though, man.
I mean, so he always gotta give me a follow up.
It's also why it's also why, like, with old heads, I enjoy talking to old heads. Because any black man that gets to be like 60 years old, their governor goes off and they stop caring about anything and will say anything out of their mouth, which is why they're the most entertaining people on the planet. Because as a black man, once you reach 60, it's like, yo, I made it.
All right. All right, so Jim, give these couple quick birthday shout-outs real quick. That's what happened, everybody, while y'all were on the grind. We got some calls on the line, so we can get some quick birthday shout-outs, and we're going to get to these phone lines before we get to some more terrible people from the week.
Absolutely. And the birthdays are brought to you by the creator. So, a couple birthday shout-outs, so we definitely have to do this. Travis Best, 46 years old. He made to be 46.
What up, Trav?
Happy birthday to Travis Best. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of a friend of the show, even though he never came on it.
My birthday, yay!
Talking to you, Trav.
You know what I mean? You sell out. So now we're going to start talking dirty about you. You know what I mean? Anyway, Julio Cesar
I'm going to poop on him on his birthday for what AI used to do to him. Never mind.
Julio Cesar Chavez turns 56, and for some reason, I always thought he was older than that.
Yo, there's got to be a different Julio Cesar Chavez. Only 56? Like, he fought enough time to have been like 42 when he was fighting, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, my man was fighting bi-weekly. Like he was trying to get a steady check. He like lined up bi-weekly for me. My man was lining it up bi-weekly. It has to be. Shout out to the OG, man. Brown got him fired, huh? Who's that?
He was though. The dude fought 90 professional fights. Like that's the professional one.
What's wrong with him?
You know where he's from. He probably fought in a couple. You know, he probably opened up for a couple of cockfights down in some dirty shift ring where he thought it was sanctioned and professional, and it didn't even count on his record.
Yo, nah, look at this. Look at this, Dev. If he fought 90 times.
Damn. They be getting beat.
Austin. Yo, they're
illegitimate.
That means he's trying to express.
89-0-1. And he went his I'm sorry. His record was 89-0-1 going into his first loss. He had a 87 fight win streak until the draw with Sweet Pea. Yo, let me see what his total record was. B, whatever you were saying, they got you again and you cut out. So what was you saying about the bull? He might be going again. Damn,
they got him again.
I was saying if he fought professionally 90 times, that means he probably fought over 377 times in his life.
Oh no, yeah, because he fought more than that. The record that I put out there, that was his record before his first loss.
I mean, and I understand that. To be honest with you, that one draw that Sweet Pea beat, but I mean, Sweet Pea used to always get cheated though.
Yo, he fought 115 times. His record was 107-6-2, and he won 86 fights by knockout. I mean, Julio Cesar Chavez is definitely one of the greatest boxers to ever live. You don't seem to hear
way
his
better
name.
than Floyd.
Uh-oh. Shout out to the homie on his birthday.
Yo. Last birthday shout out. I want to get an OG a shout out. That's Paul Silas, man. Paul Silas turned 75. Salute to Paul Silas. Just
Paul Silas.
We'd like to give a big warm salute to everybody on their birthday or their birthday week. So salute to you three gentlemen.
My birthday, yay!
Salute. All right, and before we get into some more of these hot topics from terrible people and get to this phone line, y'all know the drill. Y'all can give us a quick shout out on the website at warroomsports.com. While you're on the website, take your time, look around, see everything we have to offer. Information about getting in touch with us on the website, information about buying War Room Sports merchandise, listening to archive episodes of the podcast, everything you need. Even if you want to get it in with the betting on MyBookie, if you want to buy tickets to sporting events, you can do all of that on our website. So check out warroomsports.com. But right now, if you want to talk to us, make sure you get in the JW Philly Realty chat room. That's blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. If you want to get in there, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't have one or if you don't want one, you can sign into your Facebook and Twitter accounts. But while you're at it, make sure you click follow because that'll get you reminders and updates about the show every week. If you want to call in and speak with us directly, dial the Digital Extreme Technologies hotline, which is now open. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. But if you already happen to be listening from your phone and you decide that you want to get in on the conversation, just press 1. That'll basically raise your hand, and we'll try to get to you as quickly as possible. So let's get into these hot topics. Hot topics are brought to you by MyBookie, which I just mentioned. Let's talk money real quick before we get to these calls. You guys can make bets on sports contests at mybookie.ag. We know the FIFA World Cup is definitely winding down at this point, but if you haven't checked them out yet, I mean, you have that, you have Wimbledon going on, you have just everyday baseball, whatever you want to bet on. Just join thousands of other online players placing bets at mybookie.ag. If you're tired of getting a runaround wherever it is that you bet, when it's time for that payout, that's why we urge you to switch over, put your money into MyBookie. You win, they pay real fast, no hassle. You're wasting your time sports betting anywhere else. They even have in-game live betting, and none of us here on the show has actually been able to figure out how it works, but they have it. They have in-game live betting, so you can place wagers after tip-off, kickoff, face-off. So join now, and MyBookie will match your first deposit with a 50% bonus. Just use promo code WARROOM, all caps. To activate the offer, visit mybookie.ag today. Play, win, and get your money, period. So let's go to these phone lines real quick before we get into some more topics from the terrible people from a terrible week. We got the homie Tobias on the line. Tobias, what's going on, dog? Roll Tide?
Roll Tide. Roll damn Tide. Never let me down. That's all I got to say. Get ready for the Roll Tide Invitational this year. What's going on, fellas?
They let you down once or twice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What's going on,
man? Hey, on your betting site, you need to have an over-under. Will Luke Walton make it a Halloween? I don't think he's making it a Halloween.
Damn, Halloween?
Yeah.
You can during the preseason.
Hey, but I'm just
Halloween,
kidding. I'm kidding.
Game 1. Hey, it might happen, though. There's a lot of pressure on this young coach. I mean, you are now coaching the king who was actually drafted in the same draft as you. So you were an afterthought when he was drafted. You might end up being an afterthought when you're coaching him.
He's still an afterthought.
I know, but it's his opportunity. And but I want to touch on something real quick. I put in the group chat. I remember last year, LaShawn McCoy, good old Shady, had his little had his Cam Newton hat on, tap dancing. Said Kaepernick was not good enough to be worth the distraction. Boy, how time changes in a year, boy. I tell you that. 30-year-old running back may be going to court for a domestic violence charge, and he may be out the league. So he ain't worth the distraction right now either. Boy, you gotta love how
that's a
you gotta love
story
the irony.
That's a story we're going to touch on a little later in the show. But no, you're right, because I saw a lot of support that he could have from people on social media, that support is kind of going by the wayside because everybody's bringing that up. And say, oh, when Kaepernick needed support, you had some adverse things to say. Now he finds himself in a situation. I mean, that's kind of why, with the 24-hour news cycle, social media, like you always have to watch what you say, watch what you type, watch just everything you do, because the tide will quickly turn. Like Jimmy shows us every week when something happens to somebody, or if somebody just does something that they even think is positive, people will not hesitate to go back in time to dredge up something that you said or something that you wrote. You could just be signing with a new team. Kevin Durant, I want to get a championship.
That's one of the greatest parts.
Bring up that he said.
That's one of the greatest parts. That's one of the greatest parts of draft night at this point. At draft night, every time like NBA draft night comes out or NFL draft night,
Twitter lives forever.
What old tweet somebody sent out?
Twitter lives forever.
Because take LeBron's situation for instance. Kyle Kuzma, I don't know if y'all have been noticing over the past week and a half since LeBron signed there. Kyle Kuzma has been the biggest LeBron ass kisser that there is on the West Coast right now.
That's because he used to
Kyle Kuzma had a very, very personal tweet about LeBron James back in 2012. And if I'm LeBron,
about his
I
hairline.
don't care how good this rookie is. He's not playing on this team. You gone.
Yeah, he talks about Delonte piping out his mom.
Right. Come on, man. You can't go there. But I don't know, if LeBron is as vengeful as some other people, what he could be doing. He could be waiting until like the eve of the season to make Magic pull the trigger on doing something. That would be crazy because he could be real excited about playing with the King, doing all his public slurping, and then the night before the season starts, Kuz,
you up out of there.
Yeah. I wouldn't even send him to Sacramento. Even though that's like 5-6 hours up the coast, I wouldn't even send him to Sacramento, Tobias. I'd send him somewhere crazy. Like, I don't know. I can't think of
Utah or Orlando, so we're dead.
Most ironic would be to just send him to Cleveland. I'd make sure he went to Cleveland.
Hey, I'm about to say, Central Chicago, we love overpaying light-skinned cats who all they can do is jump high.
But like sending them to like an OKC, you think of that as a bad town that you don't want to live in, but he could actually help them dudes, and they could be pretty good. They end up being better than the Lakers if he went there.
Yeah,
but you got to send them somewhere terrible. But even Chicago and the way y'all are formed right now, it's too much fun. There's too much to do in Chicago. That's not a punishment.
Yeah, fun for Zach LaVine, not fun for me. But all I got to say is
send him to the Idaho team in the D-League.
You know what? Hey, like before I get on this, the Bulls being stupid again. Even though I think Wendell Carter will be a nice player, but Kyle Kuzma's a nice player, but I think he's fallen into like sometimes where you drafted expectations. So he had no expectations. So he had a nice year. So everybody's hyping him up. He may just be a good six man. No shame in that. You can have a good career. But since he exceeded
what hype do you see though? I don't see anybody overhyping him. No one's saying that he's going to be a star in the league. It's not. Nobody talks about him the way they talk about Jason Tatum. I mean,
right.
The fact of the matter is, in the regular season,
he's better than Grant Hill.
He actually. But in the regular season, Kuzma actually had better numbers than Tatum, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying is that I thought like expect. See, sometimes like if he averaged like let's say 8 points a game, no one will be saying, "Oh, he's trash." I just think that he exceeded expectations. Could be a nice player, but that shows like in the NBA. It's funny how this works in the NBA draft. Like the Bulls got Wendell Carter. I think he's gonna be a nice player, but he wasn't hyped as number one pick. He may get those gems a lot of times, and they end up going to the right situation. Then you
I feel what you're trying to say, but even at his particular draft position, like what he did in his rookie season, if he was a top 5 pick, he would have still, balled out. But Kuz was like, top 4 in Rookie of the Year voting, first team all rookie. So I don't think it's just because he exceeded the expectations, because if he was the number 7 pick, he still would have exceeded expectations.
Hell, Larry Markkinen exceeded my expectations last year. Markkinen exceeded my expectations last year, to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't see the hype behind Kuzma the way you're saying. People are saying that he could be a player in the league because when you're picked where he was picked, no one knows whether you'll even be in the league in a year. So,
you know what, though?
But I don't see any hype.
Tobias is
calling him a star.
He's in our group, so we probably talk about Kuzma more than most people.
Yeah, but that's tongue in cheek. That's tongue in cheek, Paul.
You know what, though? I gotta say this, though. I gotta say this. The Chicago Bulls are still stupid. The Chicago Bulls are stupid. Now they want to spend money. This team is the third most valuable franchise in the NBA, third largest media market in the country. Most of the time they run the team like they Oklahoma City. Well, not Oklahoma City. Let's just say they don't want to be cheap now, but they want to be cheap. They didn't want to pay $10,000 to go to an overseas combine, and they want to give a guy Zach LaVine. Get this, last year he had more missed shots than assists, steals, rebounds, steals, and blocks combined. He don't do that. He can't even shoot.
Hold on, bro.
Yeah, y'all gotta stop calling OKC cheap. They have record numbers.
There's no way you can call them cheap no more. But hold on, though. Even beyond that, Tobias, I told you before, the Chicago Bulls, one of the worst franchises in the history of sports. They just happened to get lucky the year Jordan came out. They got lucky. And they shouldn't even have got lucky then because, we can argue this all day long, but if Portland would have took Jordan like, Bobby Knight told him to, then you probably wouldn't even be a Bulls fan. Like, Chicago
probably Atlanta
stinks.
Hawks fan. That's even worse.
Chicago stinks. They got one lucky with Phil and Mike. They got one lucky with Phil and Mike. Now it's back to normal. Everything always references to the mean, right? So, therefore, your Bulls are being who the Bulls are. The Bulls are who we thought they were.
Here's the thing.
Jim, would you say it's the same thing for San Antonio? Even though they stay competitive longer than people think?
They're on their way.
Tim Duncan gone.
I can't wait, too.
Championship run is over, I believe.
I can't wait.
You know what I think, though?
Even though Tim ain't helped much with the last one, but.
And Pop too. Pop on his way. Pop like, I'm out of here. I ain't going to deal with this no more. I came when
Kyle Lewis be out of here, to be honest.
He's going to call Brian Hill, give him his job back, Jim. He's like, I think I'm going to make amends. I want to make amends.
You know what, though? Here's the funny part, though. And it's like, I think like Bill Simmons, somebody talking on a podcast, was like players not necessarily looking at cities, they're looking at front offices and how teams are run. So teams like got bad front offices. The Bulls got a terrible front office, by the way.
I don't necessarily believe that. I don't believe that because you think LeBron looked at Cleveland's front office? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know about how much people look at front office. I think it's just an amalgamation of things. I don't think they care about front office. These players don't care about front offices no more because they do what they want to do anyway.
Here's the thing I think, though. I think it's part of it. It depends on the type of player, like the ones who are judged by championships. It probably not even 10 players in this league who are judged by championships. Hell, I don't think it's 5 who are judged based on championships. But I think somebody like a LeBron will look at that. But at the same time, in all fairness, Cleveland did everything they could. And it was hard to say get Paul George to commit if LeBron didn't want to commit because dudes ain't trying to live in Cleveland unless they know the king ain't going to be there for a couple more years.
But LeBron made his decision. It really had nothing to do with basketball. And if you look at
he made it last year.
Since he's been a Laker, LeBron has been out there handling business. They said LeBron's been closed like 4 deals already that have nothing to do with basketball. It's everything to do with business. They said he sold a script. He closed another movie deal. I'm reading the articles like, yo, what about basketball?
You're going to be in some of these things, too.
I know you guys got to go.
You're going to be in the movie.
I know you guys got to go, but I'll say this. And so that's where it was like, no matter what, he was going to leave anyway. But it's okay. He got 11 years out the guy. He had a championship. He had some good runs out of him. So I can't even blame Dan Gilbert for this. The man wants to live in L.A. and do other things. The man going to retire in probably 4 years. That's okay. Everybody making it like he failed. They did everything they could do for the man. And they got a championship out of it.
You brought Cleveland a championship, dog. Like,
He good.
The Cavaliers have never had a championship ever in the history of their life. So at this point, he don't owe them nothing.
I think he'll play past 4 years. By then, he might be like part-time. You know, when people go in couple hours on the weekend to their jobs, I think that's going to be Brian. he won't time when you feel like it.
Yeah, it's you know what? And like the thing is, you got a championship. That's good. The owner's like cool. So when he sells a team of LeBron in 10 years, hey, he'll make a nice little profit off of it. Oh, yes, and I'll say this also, people. The Papa John's guy. I wonder if J.J. Watt guy, I don't know if he was Papa John. I know he hang out with the guy. I know Peyton Manning conveniently sold his Papa John's a while back, conveniently, at perfect timing, of course. So I just want people to know. The beauty, like I said this before I go, like this protest and the Trump administration, the beauty of it is it's showing you how people really think about black people in this country. And even though you're an athlete, the thing I would say is that even though you may be $1 million athlete, you're still the employee. They don't want you to be the owner.
All right, that's what's up, Tobias. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna talk to you next
Roll
week.
Tide,
we
fellas.
appreciate your call. Roll Tide. The only thing, fellas, that I have to say to what he just said, like if you needed the Trump administration and everybody loose at the lips, like if you needed that to know how they felt about you, then you would sleep the whole time anyway.
I mean,
like
even
if
Spike Lee told you,
if nobody's ever said a racist thing to your face,
Ice Cube told
don't
you,
get comfortable. Right, like come on, man. If you needed that for confirmation, then you fell asleep.
360-degree basketball slam dunking.
Real quick, B.
No, Bull called him spear chucking, 360-degree basketball slam dunking. Yo, he said spear chucking. Come on, cuz.
Hey, B, the semifinals of the World Cup is going on, right? Who's a part of that?
Yes, sir. You got France will be playing Croatia for the title game, and Belgium will end up playing England for the third place game.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one. And even bigger news, because that, whatever's going to happen, that's going to go down. Your man, Ronaldo, has decided to switch clubs.
Yes,
how
sir.
big of a deal is that? I've heard, like, the whole soccer world, like, on his head because of this.
Maximum huge news with Cristiano Ronaldo going to Juventus, because here's the thing. They want him to be old. And it's like everybody's like, yo, he's 33. He's going to fall off. He's falling off. And you're looking at, there's certain aspects of his game where he doesn't play on the wing and run as much, but he still scored 44 goals last season. 44. So it's hard to argue that he's fallen off. And Real Madrid are basically like, look, we don't want to keep – every time Ronaldo cries or whines, they just give him more money. And they're finally like, look, you're 33. We know you haven't fallen off, but we need to get rid of you before you do fall off and we're stuck with an aging superstar that's making $35 million a year. So it's good for them.
It was 100 million pounds.
100 million pounds, so about $130 million transfer fee. His wages will be $30 million a season, which I didn't even know Juventus had that type of money. He's going to a good club, a good squad. They have two guys that are very good at what he used to do, which is play on the wing and beat people out wide with speed. He plays in the box in front of the goal as a striker, and he's just going to get served balls, and score goals.
Hey, that's his issue if he getting served balls. Last thing, I heard that another part of the move, and this is speculation, that people are saying he's doing it because he's obsessed with trying to be better than Messi. He wants to be able to say he did it in England, Spain, Italy, Portugal, and now this move. So he's trying to, add to that lore of him possibly being better than Messi in the long run? Anything that will remove him?
I don't think it's that. I think in the grand scheme of things, he just wants to have bragging rights to say, listen, I was the most dominant player in the world in England. I was the most dominant player in the world in Spain, and now I did it in Italy. I don't think it's specifically about Messi, though.
Okay. All right. Well, in other news, what Tobias had just brought up, the CEO of Papa John's, John Schnatter, resigns as chairman of the board after using the N-word in conference calls. Now, the reason we put this with sports news is because, you know, the way he inserted himself into the whole situation last year with the NFL players kneeling, being that Papa John's is a huge sponsor of the NFL. He basically saying that the whole situation in the NFL was bad for business. So he started taking heat around that time. So now he had apologized for using a racial slur on a conference call. And now after a lot of pressure, he's resigning. He's stepping down from that. Now, do any of you guys have the context on which he used the word? Like, what was going on in that conference call?
From what I heard, he was making an analogy. He was saying, like, what I did wasn't bad because Colonel Sanders literally called, like, black people niggas. Excuse me, I'm sorry, the N-word.
So he said.
So, no, sorry, you can use it.
He said that Colonel Sanders called black people that.
That's what I read online. They said that he was making the analogy. He was saying he was basically trying to say what he did really wasn't that bad. He was making a comparison between that.
Regardless of the context, I apologize.
Yeah, so in context, he wasn't saying, "Hey, you guys are this." He was saying that Colonel Sanders is on record and documented as calling him this.
Okay.
But people still like support his restaurant, and he didn't get in the hot water the same way I did. Basically, the same.
You're right. You're right. So that's what I'm seeing in this article. It says
Colonel
Sanders
called,
used the N-word while complaining. Well, yeah, he was. Yeah, he said he used it in the past without being subjected to public backlash. He also reflected on his childhood in Indiana, saying people used to drag African Americans from trucks until they died, according to Forbes. This is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? He owns roughly 30% of Papa John's. His stake was worth about $622 million. They said with the company stock dropping, it's valued at like $479 million at the close of trading on Wednesday. Like, if that was what happened on that conference call, I think it's pretty much an overreaction. Because, you know, my whole thing, I heard people all week coming on like, what y'all think about Papa John's now? And this and that. Like, okay, I'm hearing that without context. Now, hearing somebody say something like that
still tastes better than Pizza Hut, though.
Right, like, but hearing people, like, if I think about people asking that question and that, you know, just like that, and now I actually know what actually happened, I'm like, really? That's what we, like, he's racist because he was saying how somebody else said this and didn't get in trouble. I mean, he could be racist for a whole lot of reasons, but
probably is. But that's not a reason for him to lose his company.
Right. Yeah, it seems a little weird. And
but see, now here's the flip side of that, though, right? So let's just say, for argument's sake, and I guess this is the thing with your company being public versus keeping it private. Once you invite investors in, and you have big time companies and big time pension funds that own a majority of your company, like, they don't care whether you're right or wrong, because for them it doesn't matter. They don't care that you said the N-word. What they care about is the stock price going down. So
public perception and emotion impacting share.
Yeah, exactly. So
no, because I understand that, Jimmy. Because I'm not talking about those people. I'm just talking about the people, you know, that's actually giving the backlash, the people who put the pressure on the company, and, you know, have the stock price drop like that. It's like, that's just, I don't know. I don't want to defend the dude because I don't know him.
I totally get what you're saying. You're saying that it was kind of an overreaction. But this is the danger in it. And see, I guess I understand what you're saying, but I don't feel any pity at all because they're the ones that created this environment that allowed it to happen. So good for you. Now you lost. I mean, you blame your ancestors for making that word what it is, and for also
and he could have been smarter.
BOS is like that.
He could have actually said N-word. He could have said Colonel Sanders
but here's
called
the thing,
them
though. And
N-word.
it also sounds like
he had to say
it also
nigga.
Sounds like to me, instead of accepting responsibility for what you did, you were just like the other boy trying to get pity. Oh, well, at least I didn't do this. At least I didn't do that. Like, so now, I mean, FOH, because it sounds like you still were trying to.
I didn't hear that. All I saw was he said, regardless of context, I apologize. So that might have been after he was saying all that stuff that you said. He probably finally just broke down. Somebody's like, look, man, just apologize.
Yo, Colonel Sanders is like straight calling us monkeys, but at the same time, like, was banging with his chicken so heavy it didn't even matter.
We kept dude in business. Damn shame.
Yo, we kept dude in business. I ain't never seen a white person in KFC, but that's either here nor
Yo. All right, so look, among all of this news of terrible people, we're going to get back to some more terrible people and terrible stuff. We got to give a shout out to ex-New York Giant Justin Tuck, because after he finished his playing career in 2015, he went back to school. And he wasn't just some marginal player. This dude recorded 66.5 sacks in his career, two-time Super Bowl champion, 9 seasons with the team. He went back to school, and not just school. This man went back to the most prestigious business school that America has to offer. He went to the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania, got his MBA, and now he has a VP. He's landed a VP position at Goldman Sachs. I'm going to give him a shout out for that, man. There's life after football for a lot of these guys if they put in the effort and put in the work that they have to get to where they want to go. You got any thoughts on that?
No, it just makes me check myself every time I see a beautiful story like this, because the story was impressive, and you see how hard he worked outside of football. Because I fall victim to the same thing too of putting athletes in a box, and it's crazy because no one wants to put we don't want people to put us in a box. But, society has it where when we think of an athlete, we think of like, yo, shut up and dribble. Even if we say we're against that, it's subconsciously we're still
blowing money
fast.
We're
that impressed by this. Yeah, the fact that we're that impressed by this is proof positive than what we really think. But so I try to catch myself bias.
Right.
Yeah. I just expect them to be broken a couple years and hear a bad story about it. I'm just being honest. Like I'm trying to check myself in saying that because I was proud when I read it. So I was like, okay, that's what's up. Go ahead. But sometimes it's sort of like when you see somebody. Be awesome. It's sort of like when you see somebody, right, and you see him spending time with their kid and being a good father. That's what's up. Way to be a good father. You're like, idiot, that's what he's supposed to do. So sometimes
that shouldn't even turn your head. That should be what you're used to seeing in society.
Yeah, so
because we really don't do that with mothers.
So reading this story,
look at her being a great mom.
Reading this story made me check myself.
Chickadee check yourself.
You know what? I wouldn't.
Yo, they coming to get you, big.
Yo, they are not messing with B. Austin this evening, cuz.
He don't know that. He's still talking.
Yeah, he's letting his hands go.
Anyway.
He has no idea what he's saying.
So he's going to be a vice president in the private wealth management division at Goldman Sachs. Yeah, that's better now. So they said only 3% of the 300,000 annual applicants ultimately get hired by the firm. Now, I ain't going to sit in here in front like him being Justin Tuck and have something to do. But
listen,
at the same time,
I'm all about
he got a nice position. So shout out to him. If you beat out.
They try to make him expensive on ballers. Like, he trying to be the new, The Rock. What's his name? Spencer, whatever his name is on there. You watch that show, Daz? Ballers?
I do, but, I'm behind since I cut off my movie channel.
Yeah,
I got to watch it through illegal ways. And I can't find my.
I'm behind as well.
I got a device that I use for all of that stuff. I can't find that, Joe. So I got to catch up on that.
No comment.
I got to catch up on the first couple episodes of Power before everybody tell me every line for line.
Yeah.
All right, so shout out to Justin Tuck. I don't know what be off and get so trucked in this jump. All right, so back to the terrible people and the terrible things, man. Probably the biggest story of the week. LaShawn McCoy's ex-girlfriend was victim to a home invasion in his home down in Georgia. Man, they broke into their home about almost 3:30 a.m. They really put a beating on this woman. The photos are hideous. She was pistol whipped, robbed of specific jewelry pieces. And when it first happened, her friend got on the Twitter, showed the photo of a bloody, swollen face, Delicia Cordon is her name. And her message is basically saying, this is what Shady McCoy did to my best friend. Let me find it. She said, I can't believe you did this to my best friend. Your karma is going to be so real. We didn't say anything about how you beat your dog Henny in the kidney failure. Damn. Let's not talk about the times my best friend had to stop you from physically beating your son for small things like peeing in his bed. We kept quiet about your drug usage. And she alluded to PEDs. He came out later that day and said, for the record, the totally baseless and offensive claims made against me are completely false. Furthermore, I have not had any direct contact with any of the people involved in months. So it was factual that Shady McCoy was not in Georgia at the time that this happened, but a lot of details about their relationship as of late started to come out. So it still puts him at the very top of the list as being a suspect of, at least setting this up. And she's alluded to that she's finally talking from the hospital that she believes that the home invasion was a possible setup by him, because apparently he's been trying to evict her from his residence for the past few months, and she won't leave. Actually, a couple of months ago, his family, some movers, some other people, they were down there actually packing up her stuff, and they were going to forcefully evict her from the house. She saw all this going on from the home security system, from the video cameras. You could look at them remotely, and she called the police, and the police stopped it. So after that, he allegedly changed the security system, didn't give her access to it. So now he can watch the house remotely, and she can't. So that part is not looking good on Shady in this situation. What are y'all thoughts on this whole thing? Like from when you first saw it to when a lot of these details of their relationship started to surface.
There's so many thoughts to this. Like there's so many thoughts to this. Like, first of all, if he did this, he's a scumbag, and he deserves whatever is coming to him if he did this. On her behalf, and I don't want to victim blame, but I'm reading some of these stories, and I'm like, okay, just leave his house for one, but I don't want to victim blame. I got to say that because she didn't deserve what happened to her. But when you sit there and tell me that you didn't say anything about him beating his son or murdering his dog or beating up pretty much everybody else, huh?
Right.
You didn't say anything and then you named 97 things that he did that just makes him a terrible human being to begin with. It's okay if he abuses his boy, as long as you don't touch me, we good, huh? I don't get that part. But again,
has kidney
karma
failure.
is real. So if he did what she said he did, and if he did what he said he did to his dog and to his son and all that, he's gonna get what's coming to him. I'm a believer in energy, and that energy is gonna come back to him, and he's not gonna like it. I mean, his career is probably over, whether he even did this or not, just based upon. Because here's what's crazy, man. Perception and reputation sometimes are, more serious than fact. I saw that in a documentary yesterday. But it had to use that bar, so shout out to whoever made that bar. I forgot the bull. But perception, he said, perception and reputation sometimes are more powerful than what's actually fact. And Shady doesn't have the best reputation. Let's just keep it a buck. He doesn't.
Right.
And some of these allegations are so disturbing, and her picture was so disturbing. But, and again, I don't want to victim blame, but some of the stuff she said, really?
It's crazy. Now, this is some of the stuff that because that tweet has been deleted since then because the tweet makes it, it implies direct contact, like he did this, like he beat her. You know what I'm saying? And I guess once that was ruled out, I don't know if her friend just threw it up there. Maybe she was in the hospital unconscious and she couldn't really tell the friend something. Maybe knowing their relationship and how volatile it was, she just automatically assumed that it was him. Maybe there were some threats going on. I don't know. But what they're saying now that she is talking, she feels like it was a setup because when they broke up, all he wanted, he kept asking her, was for this expensive jewelry that he bought her. So apparently this intruder, was asking for specific pieces while he's writing. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, even if you did do this, you can't be that stupid or hire somebody that stupid where they're going to go in and ask her for the exact pieces that you've been trying to get back instead of just saying, give me all your jewelry, all your money, whatever valuable you have in the house. You know what I'm saying? So
listen, man.
She said that. And then she said the intruder ran out of the front of the house.
Stupid.
Right. But listen, Jim, she said there's no camera in the front of the house, and he would be the only one to know that. So after he did, all he did, he ran out of the front of the house. I mean, that's kind of shaky. I'm not a lawyer. I just watch a lot of TV. But that's kind of shaky in itself because, what I'm saying, he most likely came in the front door. Maybe that's going back out the front door. That part just wouldn't hold that much weight to me. Like him knowing it's not a camera out front. Like where else would he run out? Like most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But so that part, didn't sound too suspicious. But I think where Shady is going to get in trouble is just the fact that, if they can get a jury to believe that, he had been pressing her for this jewelry, he had been pressing her to get out of the house, this could absolutely look like a setup. But if you had that in you to get this done and leave that woman bruised and battered the way you did, like, you're a POS, dog. And this is allegedly.
Yeah, it's all allegedly. I just, this is crazy, cuz. It's crazy because I'm sitting there thinking about, you can't be that stupid also. You're also a terrible criminal if this is the case because, first of all, the great American poet, Tretch from Naughty by Nature, once said, you do your dirt all by your lonely. Because if you didn't do this and you set this up and they catch this person, which they more than likely will, what do you think they're going to do if they catch the person and you didn't have anything to do with it, they're going to be like, Shady's here. Because you're a big fish.
Public opinion, he's already done as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, he's done. But outside of public opinion, if let's just say somebody else did this and they catch them and they see the story that's happening, they're going to be like, Shady's here. They're going to blame him anyway.
Right. And that's the thing, even, I guess, with the relationship that they've had over the past months, it seems to me, without any concrete evidence, they're hard-pressed to link him to this, whether he did it or not. So they're going to release every negative thing he's ever said, done, any threats, anything that, he said to her that would make him look like a potential suspect in this, they're going to let that out. I mean, you saw the first thing they did. The first thing her girlfriend did was to tweet out the photo and say that he abused, he did this to my girlfriend. There was no context. Nowhere in that Instagram post did it say she was the victim of a home invasion and it wasn't him that actually did this. So, they're going to do everything they can to sully his name. And I don't think, and I damn sure, I mean, I would hope nobody would do this to a woman or anybody anyway, but I damn sure hope they don't have any children together. I know she has children, but I don't believe they're his children because you damn sure wouldn't do it to your baby's mother, even if you were some evil.
Tell that to Ray Caruth. Yeah,
I guess people would, but that makes it even worse. If there's even levels and degrees to this, that would make it even worse.
Tell that to OJ. No, man.
All right, so that's crazy. And on top of that, Brandon Browner, former cornerback for the Legion of Boom, Seattle Seahawks, he's been accused of breaking into his ex-girlfriend's apartment in Laverne, California, where he allegedly chased her, dragged her, and smothered her in the carpet while her 2 children were present. So he's now being charged with attempted murder. And they said he also stole her watch, her Rolex, worth approximately $20,000 before fleeing the scene. So he's been charged with attempted murder, first-degree residential robbery, first-degree burglary, person present, and false imprisonment. And he also faces 2 misdemeanor counts of cruelty to a child. Jimmy, WTF, man.
Yo.
WTF, man. What is going on here?
With these people, yo?
And then tried to steal the watch. So here I go. We got to speculate again on this because we're not there. We don't know what these guys are thinking. Like, do you try to steal the watch because you think there's a chance they don't know who it was and it could be looked at as a burglary attempt? Or is Brandon Browner struggling right now?
Cats be in their feelings, man.
Yeah, is he on that yam somewhere and he needs some money? For like, why are you trying to steal her watch after you tried to kill her? I'm pretty sure, I don't know. The speculation is crazy because sometimes you just can't fathom where somebody's head is when they're doing stuff like this. Maybe this goes back to CTE.
Yo, that's when football players automatically got something to blame. Like, Shady gonna blame CTE real fast. Like, Cats automatically got something to blame when it comes to,
Shady seemed like
that's foul, man.
He'll put that right in his defense.
Yo, didn't Shady get into a rumble with a bunch of cops recently, too? Like last year, the year before, something like that?
Shady? In the club. He was
Shady. Okay.
He got off on that one.
Shout
out to Skyview.
Yeah, okay.
He had a question from the last conversation. He said, who's the former Milwaukee Bucks player, bench warmer, that's worth like $600 million owning Wendy's franchises? Because we were talking about Papa John.
What's his name? I know who he's talking about.
I would say Calderon. Just because he played for a million team, I just assume he played for the Bucks. Remember we thought Calderon was a billionaire?
I know the boy's name because his name is Bridgman. Junior Bridgman.
Junior Bridgman. All right. Junior Bridgman is the
brother's name. Yeah, Junior Bridgman. He owns a bunch of like Wendy's and whatnot. Big ball worth like several million at this point, and he wasn't even a star player. But he was very savvy.
So that's Shady. That's Brandon Browner. Just further giving us material for this week of terrible people. Go to something else. This is not really terrible people. Just maybe the document in question was a little bit terrible. So, JBA, LeVar Ball's basketball league, has announced that LiAngelo Ball is finally going to swallow his pride and join the Los Angeles team of the JBA, after not getting any attention from NBA teams during the draft. But the ironic part about this is that, the JBA put out a press release announcing that LiAngelo Ball was going to join the Los Angeles Ballers. And if you guys haven't read this or haven't heard this, I'm going to read it real fast. And, if you're not, maybe you can call in or talk to us through the chat room or Facebook or Twitter or something. I want you guys to tell me who you think may have written this press release. All right, so the press release, the title, LiAngelo Ball to join Los Angeles Ballers, JBA League first round recap. Los Angeles, if you thought the first round of JBA League games were exciting, then you have seen nothing yet with round 2. The JBA has exceeded expectations with teams virtually even in the standings. The Los Angeles Ballers, who were one of the favorites to win the JBA title, fell into a funk and have added an interesting piece to their squad. After NBA teams surprisingly passed on LiAngelo Ball, he went to work out and give teams that passed him a show. After seeing the competitiveness of the JBA and the talent level, LiAngelo made the decision to join the Los Angeles Ballers along with younger brother LaMelo and was present for his first practice this past Saturday. Quote, I just want to win for the team, LiAngelo said. That's all I want to do, win. I'm trying to play ball, and I'm trying to get better every day.
Yo,
Jimmy, if
all right,
your man LeVar
all right.
ain't write that don't even sound like a press release. First of all, like the language in it.
Not at all. Not at all. First
All right.
off, LiAngelo disrespected your whole league like a week before, saying that's a step down, and that's not what he's trying to do. And then a week later, it's like the competition is so high. This is where I have to be. Like, so much
Right.
going on that's wrong with that, and it's very comical, man. Like VAR got to chill for one. For two, you start a league and you just happen to put both sons on the same team in Los Angeles in their hometown. Like, really? That's how you doing it?
But
Jim, he's like, all my kids gonna play for LA one way or another.
Let's comb back through this real quick and read the hype line. No, if they weren't written directly by LeVar Ball, he dictated to whoever was writing this. First of all, if you thought the first round of JBA League games were exciting, then you have seen nothing yet with round 2. So every report
nobody
we've seen
thought
about
they
that
were exciting.
That it was trash and a half. Like not a lot of people, considering that anytime you see a clip of it, it's like 14 people in the arena. Not a lot of people thought they were exciting. Then he said the JBA has exceeded expectations with teams virtually even in the – and they've exceeded expectations, and they must have thought this was going to be like total response or positive image, Philly Summer League from back in the day. Like they must have thought they were going to have like 500 capacity stadiums like Gustine Lake, Finley. Like what expectations have they exceeded? They don't have a damn person in the league whose name anybody knows beyond LaMelo Ball. And you know why we know his name. So that's another one. Peep this in, Jimmy. The Los Angeles Ballers, who were one of the favorites to win the JBA title. Why? Because LaMelo's on there? Like they were one of the favorites. They fell into a funk and have added an interesting piece to their squad. Here's the capper. After NBA teams, surprisingly passed on LiAngelo Ball. Jimmy, how long was it where people publicly stated that LiAngelo Ball was getting no attention and was not going to get drafted? Surprisingly passed on. Yo, I love LeVar Ball.
What's surprising about it, beloved?
That's my dude, man. All right, man.
Yo,
we're gonna leave Uncle alone.
He gotta chill
and let him live in his world. That's hilarious, though, because you can tell, like
he gotta chill.
He probably dictated it. Like Tina probably wrote that, Joe. He just told her what to say. But shout out to him, man. Marketing master, LeVar Ball strikes again. All right, so let's see what else we got here in this week of terrible people. I got nothing, man. We can do some NBA talk, but real quick, I just want to give you the quick stat of the week. And the stat of the week is basically a comparison between one great wide receiver, probably the greatest wide receiver of all time, who Jimmy no longer acknowledges because of the chicken wing incident, maybe the greatest football player of all time, and arguably the best wide receiver in the league right now, Antonio Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I have a comparison here of the two wide receivers before the age of 30. Now, before the age of 30, Jerry Rice played in 114 games. Brown has played in 115 games. Jerry Rice, 549 receptions for 9,349 yards. Brown has surpassed that, 733 receptions for 9,910 yards. Because remember, we look at Jerry Rice's stats, and we always talk about how he's blown away the rest of the field. We actually have, somebody in the league now, not even just him, but he's had a longer stint than some of the other guys that we compare to Jerry Rice's pace. But this is where it gets murky. In that same span, in 114 games, Jerry Rice had 95 touchdown receptions. Antonio Brown has 59 touchdown receptions in 115 games. That's crazy. And I give Antonio Brown major props for being on this pace.
I didn't even know that, yo.
right, for being on this pace. And he scores a lot. Like, fantasy owners love this dude because Roethlisberger is always forcing him the ball all over the field and down in the end zone. But 95 touchdown receptions from Jerry Rice, like, damn. Like, what were they doing in San Francisco where this dude got that many touchdown catches before the age of 30? Like, every time we talk about his statistics, they don't cease to amaze me. But I'm really impressed, even though we're in a different era of football, and Antonio Brown is getting to benefit off the fact that, you know, people pass the ball nonstop. Still, it's still impressive because even with that, you know, a lot of people just can't keep up with the pace of a Jerry Rice. So that's our stat of the week. And before we move on and finish out the show with some NBA rap, just want to let you guys know again that you can check out our website at warroomsports.com if you want to call in and speak with us about any NBA topics, because we're going to speak about a few. And if you guys have some that you want to call in and talk about or talk about in the chat room, we're open to some freestyle conversation. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. But if you already listen from your phone, like we always tell you, just press 1 if you want to talk. Let's get it.
Sir. Yeah, I'm sitting here like just thinking about what you just like dropped on me, pause, and I'm like, I didn't even know Antonio was like putting up numbers. That's like really messing me up. I didn't know that. I mean, is he the GOAT or no? I'm just looking for somebody else because you know, boy, disgust me. Anyway,
chicken wing, bro.
NBA Rap is brought to you by Digital Technology. For your business need a custom website. If you do, here's what you do: call 267-205-4203 or go to the website digitalextremetech.com. Make sure you tell them you got put on by us, because you will get a special price. You get that masterpiece hookup, because some of y'all using trash sites. Go to the Digital Extreme Tech, get you a custom site, and then you can actually start to get some business and be like Junior Bridgman. So
yeah, that's affecting your business, man. When people look at your website, I ain't gonna front, Jimmy. I've gone to people's website, like I'm all ready to give them business. Somebody recommended them. I go to their website. Yo, their website look cheap. I don't trust them. I can't.
I do that with anything. I do that with everything.
And it might be shallow. It might be
a doctor. If it's a even if it's you, I'll be like, yo, you got a website? My fault. Anyway,
you got to get to you site up. Shout out to KC Mack, because he said he called Jerry Rice chicken butt. He said chicken butt got 208 TDs. Oh, no doubt. The 95 that we're talking about is before the age of 30. So yeah, 208 TDs.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's definitely crazy. Football might not be around long enough for AB to catch him on that, because football is going to be out of here. But anyway,
they're already about to dumb it down the flag. So
we talking hoops right now. We talking LA Ron. This mural has like made like more appearances than LeBron has in LA. It was vandalized. It was fixed, and it was vandalized. Well, actually, this time it was totally erased after just being defaced. And they got footage of it now. Like,
right.
There's
what happened
footage of the person
vandalized again, Jimmy. So the original artist just totally he just totally whitewashed it because he's tired of people messing with his art. Because he gets the fact that it's never going to be up there in peace. So real quick question. I know, my bad for cutting you off. A real quick question. If you're the original artist, at this point that it's been vandalized twice, and people probably were still going to be messing with it constantly. Would you have just deleted your hard work, or would you have just, put it up there and just live with the vandalism?
No, I probably would have took it down now, because once you got pictures of it, it's like it's documented forever. Like, you got some good pictures of it, it's documented forever. It's documented forever.
If the check ain't clear yet, no, damn, I gotta keep fixing this John until they give me my check.
Yeah, that's crazy though, man. Like, it's the cold tards versus the blonde sexuals, and it's already ugly, and we not even nowhere near basketball season, but that's what's going on out here, man.
And shout out to USA softball. I'm watching softball for some reason, and the pitcher got a never mind. What happened?
I got you. I got you, yo.
No,
but speaking of
No, I'm about to say this mural situation, man. It was a tricky situation to begin with, though, man, because I think there's a lot of people in LA who are excited about LeBron being there, and we know the Lakers are a fan base who's basically tracked LeBron his whole career, and most of it probably wasn't genuine. It was just the fact that they allowed this fake rivalry that people created between LeBron and Kobe, who I always say, like, this is such a contrived rivalry because those two have never played a meaningful game against each other in their entire basketball careers. Like, they've played in more important games as teammates as they've played against each other in the NBA. Like, so, you know, it's been so contrived. They're not even really from the same era. But people, you know, you always need a hero. So, people take sides. So they did this. Kobe's people dislike LeBron. LeBron's people dislike Kobe. Now that LeBron's in L.A., there's some people who may be a little more excited. And it's not just Kobe Bryant. The Lakers have a rich history of all-time great players that just seem to be being forgotten and ignored because of the excitement of LeBron. And it's like before this man even plays, before the ball is tipped off in a preseason game, you know, he's getting murals as the king of L.A. You got people putting out memes talking about how he's the greatest Laker ever and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of disrespect going on. And I think a lot of the Lakers fans, you know, who are sticking with their anti-LeBron, it might not even be anti-LeBron. It's just people where the team and the history and the guys who've actually given something to the franchise, they're still more important until LeBron does something to actually join that list. Like, I can't speak for the actual person who's doing the defacing of this beautiful mural, as I might add. You know, I love art. And, you know, the dude did his thing on it. I can't speak to their exact mind state. But that's, you know, I can speculate that that's a lot of what's going around in LA right now. So a lot of people who are kind of in the middle, conflicted about how they should feel about this whole thing. And I think some people they're going a little too fast. They need to pump their brakes a little bit on the whole situation.
Yeah, to me, I get it. I get both sides of it. It's excitement about him being here. But I think the whole thing of the mural and all that, although, like, and even some of the disrespectful memes, I honestly I chalk that up to a sign of the time. Like, we've never lived in a world where we all can communicate. We can actually communicate with our favorite athletes, our favorite entertainers. We can communicate with, like, celebrity chefs or like, you know, models or IG models or stop. Anyway, we can communicate with people that we never really had access to. And this whole thing of wanting to celebrate people while they're here is like a big movement. And you know, also, so is pole vaulting. For those who know what pole vaulting is, like, step your game. So, because even I look at a team like the Lakers who have a rich history, as you just stated, but also I look at a team like the Celtics who have a rich history as well. And I see people already making the Jason Tatum, Larry Bird debate. Like, are you serious? Right? They really do. I've seen AI disrespect in the name of praising Ben Simmons. Like, so there are people that have put in tremendous amounts of work for franchises all across the board. And it just showed me also that how we're getting older, because I remember at a time talking to old heads when Mike was coming up, where they felt like the praise of Mike was slighting this. But now it's not only do these people have a chance to praise their heroes, but it's seen by everybody. We can, like, physically see you write out and slander people that have, like, put in major amounts of work. It's kind of crazy, but, like, I see this all over. So
you saw how people in Philly were acting when they really thought they had a chance to get LeBron. I believe, like, there definitely would have been murals, plural, of LeBron in Philly. So, you know, AI, Dr. J, Moses, Will Smith, everybody would have been
even Embiid, and put it in Embiid's LA will always be Magic and Kobe. So come here, like. So what about the Sixers' rich history?
Right.
Like, he's going
he craps on them, but then say, "Come here," like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
like,
listen,
and Embiid pooped on his own franchise. Like, so what I'm saying is, this is just the time we live in. Is like, and I know, you know, man, listen, man, we have an opportunity. It's a weird thing because we already knew that people were sheep. We already knew that for the majority, the masses are stupid. But now we have proof.
Jim, I truly believe that had LeBron chose Philly, they would have found a way prior to opening night to build him a statue and then remove William Penn from atop City Hall and put the LeBron statue up there. I truly believe there would have been a petition for that to happen at the very least. If they didn't do it, there would have been a petition for it to happen. Because people
I've
were
already
losing
seen. I've already seen in L.A. I've already seen in L.A. them talk where will his statue go in reference to like Kareem, Magic, and Shaq. Like Kobe don't even have one.
Kobe ain't even get in yet. Yo, Robert Horry ain't get in
about where
yet.
LeBron is going. So, I get it. These comments like this is one of the main reasons why I like fell off from social media altogether. Outside of Snapchat, because it goes down in summer. But because like yo, I literally get like, you know how we always talk about how stupid people are. Like, but I found myself like, yo, just getting upset. So I had to like take a little Mount Wilson break. Like, yo, I gotta stop reading this stuff because people are really crazy, man. And people
the thing
are
is, though,
and people are cold off.
Right, I was about to say that. Since it is a culture of cold-offs, I think the organization would even fall into that trap. Like, let's say LeBron does just play the 4 years on his contract, or maybe even 3 because he has an out after 3. But let's say he plays the 4 years on his contract. Let's say these are the 4 most underwhelming years statistically of LeBron James's career, because he is getting older, even though, you know, LeBron is a cyborg and we haven't seen signs of age yet. But for hypothetical speculation, let's say the 4 most underwhelming statistical years of his career, the Lakers don't win any championships. I still feel that the organization is going to feel pressure and probably will succumb to the pressure of, one, hanging his jersey in the rack. I think that's a done deal. The moment he signed, his jersey is going to go up there because they're always going to use the Laker greats as recruiting tools for anybody coming. So they're going to take you in the Staples Center and they're going to show you all the great jerseys. So that's a done deal. But I think after 4 years just being LeBron James, you know what I'm saying, they might think about, you know, retiring the number, adding a statue out in the courtyard of Staples Center with the rest of them. Like, I really think the pressure would be there, even if he's not the LeBron James that we know after this 4 years is done.
I mean, but I would too.
It's all about marketing now, and I think that markets to other players.
It's about attention. It's about a market. It's about attention, and it's about being able to create a buzz in an event. Mm-hmm. Like what I recognize about like TV in general. TV these days is about moments. It's sort of like when I was talking about the whole LeBron thing of the decision. That was a moment. So it's all about creating moments. And that will be a moment. So we can retire LeBron, even though he really did nothing for it in comparison to the others. That's still a moment for us to get buzz, generate income, generate attention. I mean, I can see that as well. But it just shows you, like, the society that we live in and the culture that we live in, man. It's like, I mean, this is the culture that made a reality star president, right? It's about these moments. It's about trolling. Trolling is like life these days. It's about creating attention, about creating a buzz, and it's pretty much sad when you really think about it. It's pretty much, we like to laugh at ourselves as people.
Yeah. B, you there?
B is here.
Oh, okay.
It's here.
Making sure. I mean, I know how you would probably feel about that. Like, if that hypothetical situation came true, do you think the Lakers would be like diminishing their history maybe a little bit and decreasing their what the expectation is to be a Laker great? Like, do you think they would be jeopardizing that in any way to throw up the jersey, to throw up a statue after 4 years when nothing really got accomplished, except for, of course, the Lakers are going to be back in the playoffs regardless of what they do in the playoffs? Is that enough in Laker lore to get you on that list?
It shouldn't be, but again, we're dealing with the change in culture, and that's one of the problems that I have. And you know, it's an ongoing battle and an ongoing, not battle, but an ongoing debate that that we'll always engage in here in the War Room between Jimmy and I, and sometimes between you and the Blueprint, because the change in culture where your product doesn't matter as much as your marketing and the attention you generate, that's a problem for me, because it automatically means that the product begins to be degraded, because people aren't going to put as much money. If we think about business and we say that the market dictates where you spend your dollars because it impacts your share price and profitability, then the market dictates that we can roll out an inferior product. It doesn't matter. These jabronis will buy it. So we got to spend money on what causes them to buy, which isn't quality, but how much attention and noise we can make. And so I think that NBA franchises are no different than most other businesses that will sell out the quality of their product if they know that they don't have to invest money in the product. They just have to invest money in the marketing.
I think the NBA is a little different, though, because winning itself is enough to have the fans get behind you. Like, so before KD got there, I mean, you had Steph obviously doing what he did, but it kind of turned that whole thing around in terms of attention and all that without necessarily selling out or even participating in this Koloff culture. Yeah, we got to do a show called the Koloff culture. But anyway,
but you can only have one winner.
What I'm saying is,
Jim, say less.
Say less. Well, what I'm saying though, Austin, is right? Listen, the Sixers stunk for a minute when they were going through the process. I've seen Old City turn around as soon as they looked like they had a chance to win, and winning pretty much filled that arena back up. It looked like I was back in town during the playoffs. So I think winning will always be one of those ways to, quote unquote, get the attention we're talking about. So I think that's what makes basketball a little different than, say, like having a product that you can put out an inferior product. And with basketball, one thing you can do is, if you can't get attention through having a LeBron, what you do is you put out a winner. You put out a winner and get the attention. I think that's kind of what separates basketball from just like in that context in terms of another business. But I just feel like with this current culture, it's not that I'm agreeing with it. What I'm saying is it is what it is. And I fight losing battles. I have other things I can put my energy into, like watching Big Brother. Like, I understand where this current thing is. Like, it gets to the point with the NBA or thing. No, what I'm saying, it's not that I accept it. What it is with certain things, like sometimes, like it's for instance, right? So I had uncles who grew up loving basketball. They were Julius Erving stands, Wilt Chamberlain stands. By the time I got around into loving the game the way I love the game, they were looking at me like, this is trash. Like, what you watching is not real basketball. Real basketball, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. I look at them like they're crazy, right? And the fact that they didn't love the game as much as I love the game, I used to wonder, like, what's wrong with them? But now, as an older gentleman, I see, okay, the culture changed to them. The culture was about selling sneakers. It was about $30 million contracts. So now we're seeing a whole different culture, and now I'm the hashtag get off the lawn gang, where it's like all you dudes care about is social media and Bernice. Like, that's all y'all care about. So I get it, right? So that's what I'm saying. It would be a point where I have to remove some of my love for this thing of ours because it's a losing battle.
We've always got Bernices in the world.
No, what I'm saying is it's a losing battle. You're saying that I'm accepting the culture. It's not that I'm accepting it. I'm saying that it's what it is. Like, it's a losing battle. You can't fight this and win. This is evolution. So so your son may come up and fall in love with basketball, or he may not. I mean, to me, it sounds like the kids are like, not even really enjoying the same sports we enjoy. But what I'm saying is, maybe like it's for them at this point. Not that I don't love the game. I do love the game and I will support. But what I'm saying is, this culture is changing to the point. And look at our conversation last week about free agency, and we all feel different ways about it. But the one thing I recognize is the way things are moving now, that's here to stay. It's not changing.
But I think change is the only constant, so it will have to change at some point.
Yeah, but it's changing in something that us as the quote-unquote old heads, like, we don't like certain aspects of it. so so it's either I sit around and complain these dudes is soft, or as Dev like to call them cat. These dudes is cat. Like I sit around and call them cat, or I just be like, y'all go do y'all thing. Like I got other options at this point. I got amazing TV. It's amazing TV right now.
I mean, I'm like a critical big brother, or uncle, or father figure, because I'm gonna call them kitty cats, but I'm gonna still support and watch them. So, that's
what I'm saying. It's not like I don't support. It's not that I don't support.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be get off my lawn, critical older uncle.
I get it though, because to me, when I watched basketball coming up, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I thought it was at its apex, and I have old heads tell me that it's trash. I'm like, how you telling me it's trash? Like, I'm watching Mike guys, and I'm watching what I'm saying? I'm watching the beginning of AI and Tim Duncan, and they're telling me it's trash. And I used to think okay, they're just saying that because they grew up whatever they grew up with, what they grew up with is trash. But as I get older, and you read history and you see, so it's a cycle, man. It's a cycle.
As an educated basketball aficionado, I'm sure that you gentlemen have both gone back and looked at older footage in different time frames. Mm-hmm. And so now you have a frame of reference to compare things to. When I look at older ball, particularly in the 80s, some in the 70s, I don't think those dudes were trash. I don't think some of the skill sets and some of the game that I saw is trash. Like, I have something to compare it with, and I do think in some ways the game was better. In some games,
but if I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, when you go back and look at stuff from the 80s and stuff, I mean, of course, the evolution of the human body of athletes, the fact that you learn a more well-rounded skill set these days. I don't know if it's more well-rounded, but big dudes can dribble, and everybody wants to shoot. Skill sets such as post game, that doesn't seem like that's taught much anymore. But when you look at games back then, the players seemed more stiff. Even dudes who had handle, it didn't look as fluent as it may look now. That would lead you to think that a lot of people just didn't even have an offhand. Some people didn't.
A lot of them didn't. A lot of our greats did.
Right. Like stuff like that changes. You know what I'm saying? Like DeMar DeRozan got a better handle than Doc. He got a better handle than Drexler. As far as handle goes,
even on their level.
That's not even. I was about to say that's not even a strength of his. That's not something that you would point out about his game. But if you look at him compared to some of the greats of the past, it definitely looks like it's improved.
But the young kids don't even respect him at this point. He's an old head. Like, it's crazy. And I think this is something else that we miss too. That we miss at how fast things change, right? Because and this is all based upon culture and the internet. The internet, things like are coming or going, right? And we always make the analogy of like a music. How you sit with an album back in the day for like years and you read the liner notes and you live with it. Now after like a couple of weeks you're like, all right, when the next one coming out? And that's kind of how society is. Move that thing so fast. The cats don't even they disrespect DeMar DeRozan. Call him old and washed. Like, it's crazy. And be awesome. You talking about like this younger generation? They growing up with like a dude like Zion, who's like 300 pounds and jumps higher than anybody on the planet. Somehow, I don't know what he's been saying.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie.
He's a Charles.
Zion is scary.
In his dunks.
So no, what I'm saying is, when they grow up with a ball, that's like 300 pounds jumping over people's heads and it's like dunking with power, and they go back and they look at like something from the 80s, to them they like, yo, watch trash.
Yo,
Chuck is gonna be the closest thing that they can even compare to Zion. But dude is, his athleticism for his size is different.
But even like the young boy that just went to the league for Sacramento, the boy that came from Duke, like he got bunnies and he got athleticism. Like, it's something that what Dev said too. Like, a lot of the things that people were taught, you guys have been in AAU and playing ball for so long at this point that, like, the thing is second nature to them. Like, basketball has literally become a culture in itself. Like, so you have sports, you have basketball, but you have basketball culture where cats 24/7 all day long. Like,
Skyview1 in the chat room, he says sports are like music. This music is garbage, probably the same way our parents couldn't get down with Eric and Rakim.
And this is absolutely true. They told me it was trash. My mom I used to get in trouble for listening to Snoop, and now like my mom loves Snoop, which is weird in itself. I always bring that up because to me that's like the weirdest like thing in the world.
But anyway, you like Snoop, really? Same dude who you?
Yeah, because it's like that. I don't think you understand how much that blows my mind because it's like the backlash I took for listening to some of Snoop's lyrics, but and the fact that he's been able to turn his whole like everything around is like completely like insane to me. But anyway,
album and every genre. We got a call on the line though. We got the homie Naj calling in from down the ATL. So let's get his opinion on some of this. Naj, what's going on, good bro?
No, ain't nothing, man. What's up with y'all, man? Good to hear y'all talking.
How you? Hey,
hey,
Naj, are you a member of the hashtag Get Off My Lawn gang or no?
Like me?
Man, I fall into it sometimes, but I try to make sure I push myself out of it because sometimes, man, you go back and watch some classic games, you're going to see some bad basketball too. So, I mean, that's every era.
This is true. This is true.
Like, it ain't nowhere
if you
where
watch
it's just
a Knicks
100%
game,
always thorough.
You watch a Knicks Heat game, the final score is going to be like 67-64.
51-49.
Right.
But that's the thing, though. They entertain you in their own way, though, because they be ready to rumble on every play.
Right. So I try my best to fight myself from doing that because I mean every era you watching that generation's best, man. So it is what it is. Some of the rules and gameplay changes we're gonna disagree with, but I don't want to be that old guy who's yelling like that. What y'all talked about earlier, I think that's why Dan Le Batard and them just started making a radio show like laughing at sports radio, like. We are in an era of idiocy, man. So people come on with dumb opinions and people doing the legacy of LeBron before he gets there to L.A. Like, what's going to be his legacy here? I don't know. Maybe he gets it. Like, dog, we are in the ridiculous time right now, and I don't think we bask in it enough at how ridiculous it is. Like, look around and listen to some of these morons. Like, they wouldn't have got to speak in the barbershop when we were growing up. Like, yo, what you say? What?
Yo,
like, no, you got to go.
Nah, yo.
He gets kicked out before he get his cut. You gotta go.
The point you kind of a point that supports kind of my position. It's not. I don't blindly accept the old man get off my lawn thing. I'm like, yo, idiocy is given a platform, a broader platform than it's ever been before. So it's like idiocy helps drive the culture. And idiocy is taken seriously like it's not idiocy, not because there aren't people that understand. It's because people that understand that it's idiocy a lot of times realize that it tells or they're too lazy to correct it. So it's like, how can you tell me this era?
Now, that's true, because I can understand how you get upset at people who know better. But you're like, hey, it's what's happening right now, so I got to get down. I understand that.
Here's kind of how I look at it, because
I don't want to fight that battle.
We live in a world right now of anti-intellectualism to the point where people make fun of people for being smart or thinking things through, like literally. And it's also at a time where like it's.
I blame the Kardashian Jenners.
So,
Jimmy.
It's 24/7 media, so they have to like fill this talk up constantly about who the best is. And if you notice, like, because everybody does have a platform now, and I'll speak specifically on Twitter because that's where most of it comes from, a lot of these shows, because of the popularity of social media, have been forced to, like, get down instead of laying down to the point where they put Twitter tickers and give you hashtags just to comment so they can have things to talk about. They want to talk about what people are talking about.
Right.
And I've had people...
Because, Jim, one of the biggest sports stories today in the NBA is about Kevin Durant having an argument on Twitter with, a fan. That's like one of the biggest stories today. Because a fan said something to Kevin Durant, got under his skin, he answered him, and they had an argument.
I've had a big-time media personality at ESPN, big-time media personality at ESPN tell me that they have someone whose full-time job it is to sit back and look up stories for Twitter to put on all of their shows. That's a full-time job. Like, someone's paid a full-time salary to do that. So that's what dictates what they talk about. and then you get idiotic, like, conversations that, like, why are we talking about this? Listen, people are already talking about Jason Tatum's Boston legacy. Yo, people are comparing him to Larry Bird. Like, why are we doing
Man,
this?
averaged 13 a game this year. He went off in the playoffs
So why
and
are we
people
doing
just lost their mind.
Why
He's nice.
doing
I
this?
think he's nice, but damn.
But it's kind of like you're doing him a disservice. You're doing him a disservice by doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's pressure.
It's like the drive for content. It's the drive for content and having to identify the next big thing and to be on the train early. And then when you're on the train early, when everybody else catches up, then you get off and you call all of them bandwagoners, and now you don't like that person. It's
That's
like the dude
thing.
who
That's
only likes
thing.
underground rappers. Son got balls.
Yeah.
Don't listen to such and such. And you're like, man, don't no girls want to listen to that at no party. Don't nobody want to ride to that in their car. Like, bruh, like, chill out. And they full, 2 feet down on it.
But as soon as that underground rapper get a hit and become popular, you like, oh, I don't like him no more. You go find somebody else.
Right. Then they call him corny. So yeah, that part is weird, bro. The Laker thing y'all was hitting on. Man, as y'all was talking, I started looking up some of the stuff because we ain't talked about the CBA stuff in years. So the Time Warner deal, the Lakers are pulling in $200 million a year. That's Spanish channel and English channel. They got $12 million a year from Wish, the online company, to put that little Wish marker on their jersey, and then they get their regular split from the NBA TV deal, which is $2.6 million a year.
I'm actually surprised about that, man, because I have the Wish app. It's kind of trash. Like
right.
Like you don't think the Lakers would be dealing with this? That kind of.
Hey man, they offered up that 12, bro. They couldn't turn it down. I think the Cavs got one for 10. I wonder how much that gets devalued now that LeBron is gone. But I think that speaks to why LeBron is there, why you're going to see the crazy fanfare for it, because now this justifies that deal. The ticket prices just went up crazy. You have all kind of hysteria around your franchise. So even if it doesn't live up to, what you're expected to on the court, revenue-wise, him doing badly will probably be even bigger for them on that Q rating stuff while we saw when he left Cleveland the first time. So no matter what, the financial impact is going to be huge, and they looking at this like, hey, man, even if we lose, we win. You know what I mean? So this is crazy. I'm just looking at some of this revenue. And the Knicks fan, man, you long-suffering Knicks fans, the amount of money that Dolan is stuffing into his pockets, dude, I'm shocked. I ain't going into it fully because I didn't get all the numbers because I wanted to do this Laker thing. But, dude, that fan base is being abused, man. They are like – they Stockholm Syndrome. Like, this is not right.
Yeah.
The money he is pulling out of their pockets, bro.
Then they get fooled again because Kevin Knox already, they already talking about his legacy. Like, he played well in games, and people talking about how if Patrick Ewing and them would have had Kevin Knox as small forward, they would have won the chip back then.
Marvin Williams, former MVP of the Summer League. So, I mean, Atlanta Hawks fans will tell you all about Summer League All-Stars.
Legacy.
And like the great Doogie Brown said, all Summer League ball tells you is who can play in the NBA and who can't. That's it.
Right.
Like,
legacies are made in the summer.
Legacy. We got to do a whole show on legacy because everybody talking about everybody's legacy, not only after one game but after one shot. So anyway, we gotta go. We about to
roll out.
Can I hit Papa John's? Can I hit Papa John's before I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick.
15 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, the man messed up their money last year coming out in a statement. They trying to sell pizza to everybody. This dude picked a side, so the board wanted him up out of there. You got 100,000 shares in that company. This dude messing up your money? Yeah, you're going to get him out. So they try to rehabilitate him, go through a little PR thing. He makes a joke out of it in the PR thing. They say, you know what, bro, you got to go. You costing us money. This ain't about the N-word or racism. Money. It's about him costing them money.
Exactly.
All right, man. Thanks for your call. We appreciate it. We'll holler at you next week.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah, we got to roll. Yo, I was going to make a quick statement to you, gentlemen. Yo, are y'all tired of the word black excellence, man? I just read something online that, pissed me off. The term, yo, someone posted a picture of their dinner and someone posted, that's black excellence. So I'm just black anyway.
Black girl magic. Come on, we got to do better.
So overused, yo. All right, man, we out of here, man.
Give me some black ass.
Listen, thank you everybody for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. This show, this show is Black Excellence. Shout out to everybody who got through. Those who couldn't get through, we apologize, man. Shout out to everybody.
Black Boy Magic.
Listen.
Oh.
Yo, tune in next week live right here. Yo, on demand. Yo, man, y'all must be. All I gotta say, man, listen, everything we do is at warroomsports.com. Get my book, Sports to Book, at sportstobook.com, warroomsports.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the word against ignorance. We'll see you jumps on top. # Black Excellence.
Jimmy, know the blueprint. Yo, every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Yeah. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like Magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, DJ, Stop Back, Lee Austin. I'm Jock. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.